This is a Lennox HRV. So we had a problem because we were hearing a lot of noise in the ducting, and it sounded like rubbing metal. So I found out that it was the bearings on the motor, that one of the bearings was in really bad shape. So that noise amplifies in the ductwork, and then you hear a really loud noise. So what you need to do is you just remove the clips on the top, unplug the unit, remove the clips on the top so you can open it. Here you see, you would remove this unit, which is the exchange unit, and then you need to remove the fan with the motor assembly. So to do that, you take this cover off. There are two screws here. You see the holes there. That's one screw, and that's the other. Same head as this one's. You remove this cover, remove those two screws, and then the whole assembly is just supported by three screws at that point, which is these three guys here. 1, 2, and there is one in behind. There are no screws on the back of the unit, so as soon as you remove those three, the unit, this assembly with that plate comes off. So what you need to do is just pull like sideways and at the same time kind of rotate away into the unit, and then you get your motor assembly with the fans, and you take that off. So you also need to undo the electrical wires. So just what I did, I took pictures of how the wiring was so that I could put it back together. You should have only these three cables. You have a ground, black wire, and a white wire. So just make sure you know where those go when you unplug them, so that you can put things back on. So once you remove that, you need to remove the rotor from the shaft, and when you remove the rotor from the shaft, there is a set screw. So you just loosen up the set screw for each one of the sides, from the top and the bottom. Make sure you mark where the fan, the rotor is, because when you put it back together, you need to know how far you go on the shaft for that rotor, because you can put the rotor is in here, you can put it high or low, but if you mark with a marker on the shaft where the color of the rotor is, you will be able to put it back in place where it was. Same thing for the bottom. So once you remove the rotors, you need to remove the bearing. So just get a bearing puller. You need a fairly long one, because the shafts on this motor, the shaft goes all the way through, like top and bottom, and it's fairly long. It's probably, I would say, 3.5 inches or more. So you need a long bearing puller. So once you pull your bearing, what I did, I just inspected the bearings, and I started turning them, and I noticed one of them was the one that was really rubbing, and it was even rusty. So just get the number from the side of the bearing, and you will be able to find a replacement on the web. I use BDI bearings, and we're pretty good. They got me one here at the local store within 3 days. So that's it. Once you get the bearing, put it back on and assemble everything back in place, and then you should be able to put the unit back together and hear very minimal noise. So once you do that, you just put everything back on and you should be good.